All right, so now we're going to approve this estimate. But before I do that, let me just show you exactly what approving the estimate does. So let's go to our budget page. And here we'll see, um, let's take a look at our columns. We've got code, estimates, bills and POs, time clock, labor. Just those four. Um, you may notice there's one that's typically there that's not here in this scenario, and that's the new expected tab. So what happens is whenever you approve an estimate, it generates that new expected tab. And that's just so that you can reference this was our original estimate and this is actually what came about during the job. So that means that any change order is a good example. Any change orders, whether they're credits or additions to the scope, will generate into the new expected tab. It's just saying that from the time of the estimate, something has changed and there's a new contract price. This is where how it's affected. So how it's affected. Let's go back to our estimate tab. And now let's approve. Well, this is another place to see that. So we've got two tabs here, see budget and estimate. Whenever we approve this estimate, we're going to get another tab here, new expected. So let's take a look at that now. Still thinking. Okay, so here we go. You'll see now there's a new expected tab. It's going to look exactly like the estimate tab, uh, but now the estimate has been approved, and so it's been signed off on, and nothing is editable inside that estimate anymore. So we need a working copy, and to show when change orders come through or allowances, selection choices are made, something needs to modify the contract price to the homeowner and still give us a clue on our outgoing expenses. Because obviously, when we have a $6,000 change order for plumbing, that means we've got an outgoing expense of $6,000 for the plumber, and so we need some way for Buildertrend to receive, expect the new expected, right? We expect now to spend $6,000 more on plumbing than was in the original estimate. So the estimate becomes a sealed, signed document that's not modifiable, and the new expected is where any changes come through. So here, let's scroll down, and let's take a look at this first. You'll notice that we have another tab, another category of expenses, and that's the approved change orders. So whenever you create a change order, it'll populate in here. Now, this isn't a super critical tab, but for budget reading purposes, this is what we need to do here. We need to, once our estimate is signed and approved, we need to go under allowances and selection choices and toggle all of these from allowance to choice. Now remember, this is after we've signed the estimate, approved the estimate, and that's all we need to do there, and we're done. You'll notice the estimate also has a very similar setup under the allowances, but under the estimate, we want it to be calculating the allowance, not the choices. Under the new expected, we want it to be calculating the choices, not the allowances. So the process there is approve the estimate, then go to the new expected tab, where the default will all be set to allowances by default. Under the allowances and selection choices, these will all be allowance, and we'll be toggling them from allowance to choice. And that's it. Done.